Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Thursday, July 15th, and this local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow you. A Palm Coast man is indicted on murder charges, marking the second indictment in the same case. Karen Johnson reports.
According to the state attorney's office, 43-year-old Joseph Carroll's been indicted for first-degree murder in connection with the death of Michael Burnett Jr. that happened in June of 2018. Carroll's indictment is the second indictment stemming from this investigation, with 40-year-old Allison Bennett being the first back in January. The grand jury found there was sufficient probable cause to believe that Carroll conspired with Bennett to supply a mixture of heroin and fentanyl to Burnett, which ultimately caused Burnett's death at the age of 31. And this isn't Carroll's first encounter with law enforcement. He has a lengthy criminal history dating back to 2009 for numerous charges, including the possession of drug paraphernalia, shoplifting, giving a false name to law enforcement, also marijuana possession and petty theft. Sheriff Rick Staley.
As I promised the community, we investigate every overdose death as a first-degree murder. We have multiple other cases under investigation that we anticipate future arrests for first-degree murder. If you are a poison peddler in Flagler County and one of your customers dies, we're coming after you. So quit selling your poison and get out of Flagler County.
For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
The Flagler branch of the NAACP is hosting a Palm Coast Mayoral Candidates Forum tonight, ahead of the special election that's now less than 2 weeks away. Shelley Ragsdale, who's president of the organization and a resident of Palm Coast, says he felt compelled to pull the forum together because he's concerned about the city's future, with resignations from Mayor Holland and City Manager Matt Morton.
So now we have no one basically running our municipality, and I felt that if we are going to elect a new mayor, we as people of Palm Coast, and a lot of people in Palm Coast don't go out and vote. And if I can be a little more specific, people of color, black folks, we don't go out and vote as much as we should. So I am going to do whatever I can to make sure that our people are aware of what's going on, who the candidates are, what they have to offer to Palm Coast. We are also going to have a table there for voter registration. Even though the deadline for them to vote in the mayoral July 27th election has passed, it's never too late to get people signed up to vote.
All 6 candidates vying to be the next mayor of Palm Coast will take part in the forum. That includes David Alfin, Kathy Ostrino, Carol Baca, Doug Courtney, Alan Lowe, and Cornelia Downing-Manfrey. It's happening tonight from 6 to 8 at the George Washington Carver Community Center in Bunnell. Doors open at 5:30. You're invited to attend in person, but the forum is also being broadcast on Zoom. FlaglerBroadcasting.com and the Flagler radio app are your home for everything you need to know about the upcoming election. Find a link to the NAACP Forum, as well as the Flagler Tiger Bay Club Forum held last month, and the Palm Coast Flagler Regional Chamber of Commerce's mayoral questionnaire, all at FlaglerBroadcasting.com and the Flagler radio app. A suspect being described as a catch-me-if-you-can wannabe is facing charges after being arrested in Flagler County. John Arking has the details.
The Flagler County Sheriff's Office Real-Time Crime Center notified deputies last Friday of a stolen gray Nissan Rogue with a New York tag that was on Palm Coast Parkway. The vehicle and tag were both reported stolen from separate car dealerships in New York. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
The suspect stole a vehicle from a New York car dealership, then stole a tag from another dealership, burglarized the vehicle, stealing multiple checks, and decided to come to Florida. The mistake he made was getting off the interstate in Flagler County, and deputies were alerted to the stolen tag. The subject had 15 aliases, over $20,000 in fraudulent checks that he was trying to use in Florida.
The suspect, 48-year-old Joseph Borelli, was charged with being a fugitive from justice, grand theft of a motor vehicle, petty theft, providing a false name to law enforcement, and possession of forged checks. He's being held without bond. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arkin.
Palm Coast's new interim city manager comes into the role at a challenging time. Amy Cherry has more.
With abrupt resignations from Mayor Holland and prior city manager Matt Morton, she also takes over at a time when tensions have been heightened at recent council meetings. Denise Bevan tells WNZF her approach is one of optimism and positivity.
Creating an environment of trust and empowerment. With anything you do, you think of your staff, right? That's at the forefront and what their needs are. And when we're talking budget, is to make sure that's accurately done so we have the resources that we need to do our job every day for the citizens of Palm Coast.
Bevan says when she enters City Hall, she comes through the front door, and that has meaning.
So I will say good morning. Hi, how's it going? I have a dog, Allie. And I know those other dog owners. So I'm like, hey, how's Cookie doing? How's it going? Did you have a good weekend? And coming up to the second floor where administration is and many other departments, I make sure that I check in on folks.
From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
Imaging art students and our veterans are getting together in an art studio.
Trent Burning with Daytona State College said that's what he imagined when he first got the grant for the Veterans Art Program. And then he said things changed.
Often, as an art educator, I talk about or think about the healing natures of the arts, but actually seeing it in real life through these veterans, some of these individuals dealing with PTSD and things.
Burning said the program that's been going on for several years now kept one veteran active enough to get out of bed, to go to his art classes, and to be with his fellow veterans for several years. You can listen to Veterans On Point on Sunday mornings. That's where the interview came from. It's at 9:30 here on WNZF. The podcast is on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, how veterans and their families can get involved in the Veterans Art Program. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.